January the 15th, 2025, press statement. Uzodimma's 5 years in office, a reign of failure, corruption, terror, and plague. Imo PDP urges the governor to repent and apologize to Imo people. The People's Democratic Party Imo State chapter states that after 5 years in office, there is agonizingly nothing to be proud of the Governor Hope Uzodimma administration. The party describes it as a reign of failure, corruption, terror, and plague in the state. Even the blind can see that the governor and the state government have failed to measure up in all indices of governance and should adopt an apologetic rather than a celebratory posture for leading the state to the precipice. First, the government has failed in its core responsibility of protecting lives and property. Under the watch of the Uzodimma administration, arsonists, government kidnappers, and organ harvesters have prowled and run riot like never before, leading to several thousands of avoidable deaths of innocent civilians and security operatives, as well as the destruction of and loss of properties worth hundreds of billions, including private residences. The cases are too numerous to list. Unfortunately, today, hoodlums have overrun large parts of Okigwe, Njaba, Onimo, Osuolo, Oru West, and Oru East, even Oguta LGS. Not only have most indigents of the LGS fled their native homes and become IDPs in their own state, but the few remaining in some parts of these LGS live in fear and under the dictates of government and non-state actors who are now more or less the de facto governors in these areas. On infrastructure, the government has been shambolic. Imo roads are in their states arguably the worst in Nigeria today. The government has failed to address 98% of impassable roads in the rural and urban areas, while most public school buildings remain dilapidated and devoid of basic facilities such as seats. This has condemned students and pupils to taking lessons under mango trees and on bare floors. On the economy, trade, commerce, and ease of doing business, Uzodimma's regime stands as the worst in the history of the state. The business environment has been adversely impacted by insecurity and the government's unwillingness to regulate taxes, leaving business owners grumbling due to multiple taxations. Despite this ugly trend, the state has maintained an abysmal 26th and 30 to 36th ranking in internally generated revenue, IGR, under Uzodimma's watch. That is across the Federation, and ranked 32nd in the 2024 fiscal performance ranking according to budgets. Additionally, the states generated the lowest VAT, that is value added tax revenue, in the entire Federation in 2024, with a paltry 235.41 million naira generated, almost half of what the second worst performing state, Zamfara, generated, and a mere 0.2% of what Lagos generated. In terms of transparency, accountability, and rule of law, the government's record is shameful. The governor has reduced governance to a one-man show and maintained a secretive approach in managing the state's resources and opportunities. In his absence, or more accurately, without him, nothing works. Sadly, even in his presence, nothing works either. This is a governor who has spent 89% of his tenure in Abuja, Lagos, and other parts of the country and beyond. He merely returns to sign off checks and engage in dance parties. How can one explain that the governor has refused to appoint an acting chief judge since November 16th, when the office became vacant? Today, cases are not being assigned. because only the chief judge can do so. This is just one out of many other functions only a chief judge can perform. The effect on this in the Imo judicial system can only be imagined. Whereas the government's failure is stark, it has developed a penchant for harassing, hounding, and incarcerating its critics. It has developed today, after his arrest over 2 months ago by suspected government agents, no one knows the whereabouts of former Commissioner of Foreign Affairs in Uzodimma's administration, Mr. Fabian Ihekweme, who became a critic of the shambolic administration. Activist Chinonsoba, popularly, of course, addressed as Nonsonkwa, has also had his days in prison for being a critic of the government. The government has completely lost its bearing. Furthermore, the present administration's inclination to fraud and corruption is epitomized by the misappropriation of over 520 billion in local government allocations during these 5 years. This humongous amount remains unaccounted for, with nothing to show for it, not even a single classroom block or half a kilometer of road in the entire 27 LGS of the state. On workers' welfare, evidence from all ministries, agencies, and parastatals shows that the government has not implemented the old 30,000 naira minimum wage. Level 8 and 10 workers who are graduates in their own right still earn just a fraction above 40,000 naira monthly. No ministry, whether agriculture, works, commerce, industry, finance, or education, is exempt, and workers are groaning in pain. At the state's institutions of higher learning, it is surprising to note that level 12 and 13 lecturers who have served many years only earn around 120,000 naira a month. A professor at the Imo State University, IMSU, cannot boast of earning 300,000 naira monthly, compared to their counterparts in other parts of the country who earn 500, 600, 700 and above. Having failed to implement the old minimum wage, there is no hope that the present administration will comply with the 70,000 naira national minimum wage agreed upon last year. Also, the governor has deprived workers of promotion benefits. In 2022 and in 2023, the state government announced promotions for workers. However, to date, no worker has received even a kobo as an increment in their salary. The yearly salary increments, which usually occur in July, have not been seen even once during Uzodimma's tenure. This is not just wicked, but also criminal. Since 2020, when Governor Hope Uzodimma assumed office, the state's unemployment rate has remained high. Imo has consistently ranked as the fifth worst in terms of unemployment. Again, this does not bother the governor and his acolytes. The government has also failed to address human rights abuses in the state, including extrajudicial killings, police brutality, and extortion of road users, particularly youths. This is disheartening. We could go on and on, but the truth is that the extent of failure cannot be fully exhausted. Frankly speaking, Imo has been governed for the past 5 years. Given these monumental failures, Imo PDP urges Governor Hope Uzodimma to tender an unreserved apology to the people of the state for being grossly incompetent and running a once vibrant and prosperous state aground, rather than throwing parties and organizing ceremonies to mark his 5 years in office, a tenure that has brought agony and ruin. Signed, Lancelot Obiaku, State Publicity Secretary, PDP, Imo State. This is our position. This is the position of PDP in Imo State. The reign of the present administration has brought nothing but pain to Imo people. And you can clearly see, you move around, you see that the state lacks the presence of a responsible government. And we cannot continue like that. There is nothing to celebrate. There is nothing to be happy about. We urge the governor to come out and address these issues that we have raised. Because they are very clear. They are very clear. Come out and address it. Reconcile with Imo people. Engage in programs and policies that better the lives of Imo people and that can earn you their confidence. You know, rather than remaining aloof, rather than gallivanting, jumping from one state to another, instead of sitting down here and governing the state. You don't do that, then you have to apologize to people, Imo people. But we hope he will repent and come, you know, with every sense of good faith and apologize to Imo people and turn a new leaf and become the governor. And of course, head the kind of government Imo people have been yearning for over the years. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you.